We are live. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Tyson Delacruz. I am the owner and co founder of Kiaya Wellness, a holistic alternative treatment facility to treat anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic pain, postpartum depression, and overall personal elevation or personal evolution, if you would. We just recently had our grand opening out here in Las Vegas. Super dope. Thank you for everybody in the community to come and like share. Super amazing, really cool. Um, I thought I'd hop on here and just share some commonly asked questions when it comes to ketamine therapy and use in clinical psychedelics. I'm just going to open up my slides here. So I titled this Unveiling the Truth, Addressing the Biggest Concerns and Questions About Ketamine Therapy. What we're going to overview today and how we're going to overview it. Let's see. Boom. Oh, man, look at that. Dude, I love this system. This system is fantastic. I can draw on this and everything. I'm sorry. I'm using a new platform and it's absolutely great. It's great. All right. So what we're going to overview today is a couple bullet points. So the safety of ketamine. We're going to address what are the potential side effects of ketamine therapy. How long does ketamine therapy last? What is the process of the administration of ketamine like? How many sessions of ketamine therapy are usually recommended? And will insurance cover the cost of ketamine? So again, this is Kiaya Wellness. We are a holistic alternative treatment facility to treat anxiety, PTSD. And our mission is to change the way that people view healthcare, to provide alternative and holistic treatment, blending both Eastern and Western medicine to ultimately make a change. So first off, let's talk about my personal journey through psychedelics, just to kind of give you a background on why I'm so passionate about psychedelics or psychedelics in the clinical based setting. Um, I had experienced some of these emotions of depression, anxiety, PTSD. Um, I I was experiencing these emotions and I was in a very depressive state where I started, consuming more alcohol, mixing alcohol with a little bit of opioids, and ultimately I wasn't incredibly happy with the life I was living. Um, then by total miracle, I was introduced to uh, meditation, and then this book that absolutely changed my life. If you haven't gotten this book, please go ahead and get the book. Get the book ASAP. It is called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I was on a live streaming app called Periscope. So that might date this experience, right? This was back in 2016, 17. I was on an app called Periscope, and these individuals that I followed said, "Hey, if you're feeling this way, depressive or anxietous, get The Power of Now and listen to it in the audio version for the last 15 minutes and do that until that feeling goes away." And that was one of the things that absolutely changed my life. I got into meditation, like I said. Then I started discovering that we can actually heal ourselves. So, then I was introduced to Reiki. And then through Reiki, later on, 2016, 17, I was introduced to plant medicine. And then through that journey, my first experience with any psychedelic, it was called it's called 5-MeO DMT. So often say the God molecule in regards to uh, experience with psychedelics, right? It's egoic death, massive egoic death. Um, so through that first experience, and I'm gonna like wash this down significantly, but or I'm gonna summarize it, but I'll share more of it as these videos kind of collect. Um, After experiencing 5-MeO DMT, I realized like all the things that I was doing and everything that I thought was this reality. Um, a lot of times I was doing things for other people, and not doing things to be incredibly fulfilled. And after that experience, I started painting. I did a couple like street vendor events to sell my art. And then at that same time, my business was growing and elevating too because I was in such true alignment. Then shortly after that, I was introduced to ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a traditional. That's where this photo comes from, right here. Let me blow this up. Um, this photo is in Peru. I had the opportunity to travel to Peru a few times and experience the uh, Shipibo tribe out in Peru, and they are again decades of healers and shamans, and they do this in the middle of the jungle. It is amazing, and that about 2016, the ayahuasca was lightly introduced into some communities as a form of healing. Again, what ayahuasca is, it's a brew, traditionally comes from the Amazon. That's where the root can grow, and mixed with some shakuna leaves and some other things are brewed and drank, and it provides this incredible hallucinogenic um, experience. And when we're in those kind of experiences, we disassociate from what this world is, and through those experiences, that's where we're able to see our gaps or our holes in the boat, if you would. And the holes in the boat, we see those holes in the boat, whether that's like the people pleasing or doing things because we feel like we have to, but we don't really need to. That's where all that kind of stuff comes from. And those things are looked at through the glass of psychedelics, and then you're able to see and then if you want to patch that hole, highly recommended, the integration after psychedelics, that's when you patch it. But after sitting with I sat with an amazing tribe originally out here in Las Vegas, Saska, a few dozen times after that. And each experience is totally different, incredibly enlightening. Um, and then I've sat with some mushrooms or magic mushroom psilocybin several times, and I actually actively microdose psilocybin as well to reduce the emotions of depression and anxiety. And I want to remind you guys that none of this is medical advice. This is just through my experience. I have to place that disclaimer in there, or else the YouTube's going to get me. So uh, I hope that answered. We can dive deeper in my story of psychedelics and how I, when I experienced that first psychedelic, but more so, if you guys want to hear more about those stories and all that, I'll be more than happy to share that. Just, pop that in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to share. But I want to dive into frequently asked questions that occurred at our opening. And one question that popped up is ketamine safe? Um, yes, ketamine is incredibly safe. Ketamine has been ketamine therapy has been used for several decades, and it is incredibly safe when administered by a trained professional. And I keep harping on this, guys, and I'll continue to harp on this because the importance of administering any psychedelic, it is important that you are in a safe space. It's important to undergo ketamine therapy under the supervision of a qualified healthcare professional in a controlled clinical setting. This is the importance, and this is like the value of the clinic, right? We have the opportunity to provide an incredibly safe space for you. We cultivated our office, we cultivated our staff to be uh, incredibly safe. And if you happen to have some anxiety or nausea going into it or coming out of it, we do have those medicines readily available. We do take your blood pressure before you dive into therapy to ensure that it's safe. And then we monitor it throughout the process. Ketamine is has a low risk of physical dependence or addiction compared to substances. Like any medical treatment, ketamine may have potential side effects, including temporary changes of blood pressure, heart rate, or dissociative properties. That means you're not gonna remember. You're not gonna be. You're going to have that experience of like, oh man, where am I? Adverse reactions to ketamine are really rare, and the benefits often outweigh the treatment. Medical screening and assessments are conducted prior to getting treatment. We have you meet with our licensed clinical professional to see if ketamine therapy is going to be right for you. We have open communication with these help with our healthcare providers, to address any additional concerns or anything that may come up. Research on the study is ongoing to enhance our understanding and safety protocol. We are always up to date with ketamine therapy provisions and mental health conditions. The reason why I say this is because it is so important to have an incredibly safe space. You're not just going to come in and we're just going to administer you this dissociative, right? No, prior to even coming with our physician, you get to take an assessment because we want to make sure that this process is incredibly safe. And the more safe or the safer you feel, the easier it is for you to open up and your talking about your experiences or through your experiences without the weight of that energy. um, that's when you really begin to heal. And that's what we focus on here. Um, and I want to give this example really quick. What I mean by the weight of something traumatic happening. Like, imagine if you saw a loved one, being, this is kind of morbid, but like being murdered, right? You see them being murdered, and that memory kind of sticks in your head. If it happened in an alley, like you have this preconceived notion on what occurs in alleys or this trauma associated with alleys. And what ketamine therapy does, it is like a truth serum or Wonder Woman's lasso. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wonder Woman, but she had this lasso, and it was the truth lasso. And anytime she would put it around villains, she would ask them questions and say, "Where is this person?" And they would just say it because they're under the spell of the. And that's the easiest way to associate ketamine therapy to something maybe you guys are familiar with. Ketamine therapy is a truth serum. It allows whatever you're working on, whatever your intentionality is, when you come in, you say, hey, we give you these journal prompts to prompt through and say, hey, this is what I'd like to work on. This is what I'm looking to overcome. Then you sit with the ketamine, and throughout that process, we're going to ask you some of these questions to help evolve and see if we can bring some of those energies to the surface so we can actually talk about them. So let's dive into what are the potential side effects of ketamine. Potential side effects of ketamine may cause some short-term dizziness, some nausea, especially after individuals that are sensitive to like emotion, because you're going to leave your body for a little bit, or it's going to feel like you left your body for a little bit, right? Um, some individuals may experience transcendent changes like blood pressure, heart rate, different breathing patterns. And this is the importance. Like, we'll teach you a little bit. And then, as you kind of go along through your healing journey, we'll teach you about breathing and how to breathe properly through some experiences. Ketamine induces dissociative experience, such as detached from the body. These effects are temporary. They will conclude. In rare cases, individuals may experience hallucinations or disturbing thoughts. It's very rare. Um, Ketamine is a very light, most of the time, happy um, substance. After treatment, the patients, you might feel a little groggy, fatigued. Um, it's important to discuss any pre-existing conditions with our medical team, and patients. Uh, Patient safety is our top priority. It's super important for us, for everybody to feel safe, because when people feel safe, again, then you're able to heal. So let's dive into how long do the effects of or ketamine. Boom. Okay. The acute effects of ketamine. So a traditional session of ketamine therapy, specifically the way that we administer it through IM, will last anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes. IM muscular. Let's make sure this is, you could see that. So IM is intermuscular. Again, a session with ketamine through ketamine therapy will last about 45 to 60 minutes. And after that, your recovery will probably be another 30, 40 minutes. So I would allot about 90 minutes per session. You definitely don't want to do this on your lunch break. Um, and you want to refrain from anything incredibly heavy. If you have a divorce court, you don't want to, or you got jury duty that same day, and I just wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't mix your therapy session with jury duty. Just not a good vibe. You got to vibe check it. Uh, it's important to note that the duration of these effects influence different factors. Some metabolism, it may increase some pre-existing conditions, but that's why we do pre-screen, right? And each of our treatment plans, each of our things or each recommendation, it's going to be different for everybody. It's important to see where somebody's at, and then once we kind of see where they're at, we're able to see, recommend, and ultimately it's going to be up to you, right? This is your treatment plan. If you felt like you got enough out of the first session, great, fantastic. Because to be incredibly honest with you guys, we don't want you as patients forever. Because if we did, that means it's not working. You know, I always thought personally, Batman is incredibly amazing, but he's dude. I don't know. Like, all of the villains that he locks up in jail, they get out again. So yeah, he's not doing something right, And the police over at Gotham City aren't doing anything right either. These people just keep getting out. Anyways, we don't we don't want you to be a long-term patient like that. It's, if you'd like, you can get follow-ups, but we really our intention is to show you how to heal. That's, um, you wouldn't need us anymore. Regular follow-up sessions may be recommended, just depending on how you're feeling, just like I said. And it's essential to openly communicate with your healthcare provider to uh, to see how you're doing. If you guys are getting value in this, give it as a like it, because I'd love for this information to get out more. What is the process of ketamine administration like? Ketamine is incredibly safe. Again, like I said, and we inject it through IM, so that's intramuscular. So it's going to be right here or right here. Um, the process of ketamine involves different steps. Obviously, we wipe it down. All of our needles are safe because we're monitored uh, through a third-party monitoring company to ensure that all of our stuff is safe. Prior to administration, we do a comprehensive evaluation. During administration, you'll be in a controlled, safe, comfortable environment. If you haven't seen the photos of how the clinic looks, you can go ahead and check it out on lvketamineclinic.com. You'll be able to see how, the chairs that you'll be sitting in, and all that good stuff. The dosage and duration of administration will be careful and monitored and based on specific desires and therapeutic outcomes. Throughout the session, our clinicians and our team will check on you and then also give you those prompts, because, again, this is about the healing process. How many sessions of ketamine therapy are usually recommended? Again, that's going to be totally up to you. That's, ultimately, the number of sessions of ketamine recommended based on you, based on what you're looking for. Generally, we do recommend anywhere from 3 to 8 sessions over the period of several weeks, just because, one time is not going to be, the magic thing that's going to absolutely change. But over the course of time, you're actually able to work on things, just like working out. Then you're able to recognize things that happen in your mind a lot quicker, in your body. uh, will insurance cover this? Insurance coverage for ketamine can be dependent on several factors, including the specific insurance, the policy terms, and purpose of the treatment. Um, while ketamine therapy has gained like incredibly a lot of recognition, uh, some some insurances won't cover this. It's important to note that even though insurance coverages isn't available, whether it's this clinic or another clinic, find a clinic that can provide financing options for you. We provide financing options here, and we're looking at some other things to make this more accessible for everybody. But so currently, ketamine is not covered by your insurance. If you guys enjoyed this and want more information about what we do here at Kaya, you can go ahead and scan this QR code. And I hope this was incredibly informative. Um, we were jamming through this, and I'm going to do more of these if you guys like them. But hopefully it was informative. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can find my information through this QR code. And yeah, have an amazing day. Chat soon.